Are you thinking of giving up on something? Don't even think about it until you've tried these 20 proven strategies, or you'll regret giving up too soon. Number 20. Instead of quitting right away, run a 30-day experiment on how things could be different. If it's your job that's dragging you down, spend the next 30 days adjusting your daily routine or trying new ways of working. Make it a game. Each day, try to find one small change that might make things better. You might discover that the issue wasn't as big as it seemed, or at the very least, you'll have more clarity on whether giving up is truly the right move. Number 19. This might sound a bit silly, but this strategy really works. Write a letter to your future self, explaining why you want to give up and what's causing that decision. Then, put that letter away for a week. When you revisit it, you're looking at it with fresh eyes, like a second opinion from yourself. Sometimes, taking a step back can make your reasons feel less important or even a bit weak. This is about getting out of the emotional haze and seeing things more clearly. Number 18. Imagine a scenario where quitting isn't an option. What would you do then? How would you approach the problem? This mental exercise forces your brain to think of alternatives, be creative, and problem-solve in ways you might not have considered. Sometimes, the solution appears when you stop thinking of quitting as an easy way out. Number 17. Draw 2 columns on a piece of paper. On the right side, make a list of all the good things that might happen if you keep going. Things you might not see now because you're too focused on the negatives. Include even the smallest positive outcome. Then, on the left side, list the worst-case scenarios if you do give up. Seeing these side by side might shift your perspective. Often, we tend to overestimate the benefits of quitting and underestimate what we might miss out on by continuing. Number 16. Before you decide to quit, find someone who's faced a similar challenge and made it through. But here's the twist. Don't just ask for advice. Instead, dig into their experience. Ask them what it felt like when they were in your shoes, what made them keep going, and what the turning point was. This isn't just about getting a pep talk. Hearing their detailed story can make you see things from a different angle. Maybe they found a way through that you haven't thought of yet. And if you feel like no one gets what you're going through, don't keep it to yourself. Just share your problem in the comments section below, and you'll be surprised by the support and advice from others who've been in your shoes. Number 15. Instead of quitting entirely, try quitting a specific aspect of what's troubling you. If it's your work, maybe it's a particular project or task that's causing the most stress. See if you can offload or delegate that part, or at least reduce its impact on your day. This way, you're not walking away from everything, but you're cutting out the part that's dragging you down the most. Number 14. Visualize what your life will be like 6 months after you give up. Really picture it in detail. What you'll be doing, how you'll feel, what your day-to-day life will look like. Now, do the same for if you decide to keep going. Compare those 2 scenarios. This exercise helps you see beyond the immediate frustration and consider the longer-term impact of your decision. Now, the next strategy is my personal favorite, and it always works for me whenever I feel like giving up. But before we dive into it, hit that like button. It really boosts my motivation to keep making great content for you. Number 13. Before making the final call to quit, take a mini break instead. Whether it's a weekend away or just a few days off, completely detach yourself from the situation. Don't think about it. Don't talk about it. Just give your mind a rest. When you return, you'll have a clearer head, and sometimes that space is all you need to find a solution that wasn't visible before. Number 12. Before you walk away from something big, try changing your environment first. If your job is draining you, maybe it's the work environment, not the work itself. That's the problem. Consider working from a new location, rearranging your workspace, or even shifting your working hours. Sometimes, A change in your surroundings can refresh your mindset and give you the boost you need without making a drastic decision. Number 11. Before you quit, take a moment to assess your energy levels. Instead of just focusing on how you feel emotionally, are you drained because of this situation? Or is it something else in your life that's draining your energy? Sometimes it's the other factors like lack of sleep or outside stress that are making you feel like quitting. Recharging your energy might change your perspective. Number 10. Sometimes we get so caught up in the negatives that we forget what we've gained from the experience. List out all the skills, connections, and knowledge you've picked up along the way. Seeing the benefits of sticking with it so far can remind you that it hasn't all been for nothing, which can make giving up feel less appealing. Number 9. Turn to your closest friends, family, or mentors, people who know you well and have your best interests at heart. Ask them for their honest opinions about your situation. Sometimes they can see things that you can't when you're too deep in it. They might point out an alternative path you hadn't considered. The key here is getting feedback from people who truly understand you. Number 8. Remind yourself why you started in the first place. What motivated you initially? Was it a passion, a goal, or something personal? Sometimes reconnecting with that original reason can reignite the fire. Write it down or keep it somewhere visible to remind yourself daily why you shouldn't give up. Number 7. Monotony can make any situation feel unbearable. If you're feeling stuck, try switching up your daily routine. Add something new, whether it's changing your commute, working on a different aspect of the project, or altering your work hours. This fresh take on your day-to-day might help you keep going. Number 6. Sometimes picking up a hobby outside of your current struggle can give you a mental break, boost your mood, and bring back your motivation. Whether it's sports, painting, or even a simple walk in the park, finding something you enjoy outside of work can help you cope better with the challenges you face. Number 5. When you feel like giving up, it might be because the goal seems too exhausting. Break it down into smaller, more manageable steps. Focus on just one step at a time and celebrate each small win. This approach shifts your focus from the daunting big picture to something more achievable, and those small victories can reignite your motivation. Number 4. Before you decide to quit, ask yourself if there are hidden opportunities in your current situation. Are there skills you can develop, connections you can make, or experiences you can benefit from? Sometimes, what seems like a dead end can actually be a stepping stone to something better, but you have to look for it. By the way, if you're finding this helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you won't miss out on any of the good stuff we've got coming up. Number 3. One reason people quit is fear of failure. Instead of giving in to that fear, create a backup plan. If things don't work out the way you hope, what's your next move? Having a plan B can reduce the pressure and make you feel more secure in continuing with your current path. You're not giving up, you're just making sure you're covered, no matter what happens. Number 2. Write a contract with yourself, committing to a specific goal or timeline before you quit. For example, promise yourself that you'll keep going for another 3 months and give it your all during that time. Having a written commitment can keep you focused and accountable, making it harder to give up prematurely. Number 1. This final strategy is all about perspective. Imagine yourself a few years down the road. Will you regret not giving this one last try? Sometimes, it's not about whether you succeed or fail, but knowing that you gave it everything you had. If there's even a small chance you might regret quitting, it's worth giving it that one last shot. After all, the worst-case scenario is you'll know for sure that it wasn't meant to be, but at least you won't be left wondering what if. And to achieve any goal, you just need a few easy strategies, which I've revealed for you in this video.